Olinda Chapel was recently arrested and arraigned before the magistrates court in Harare. He has apologized, and according to H Metro, the headline is Olinda Chapel humbled. Remember, she is a British citizen. Probably she is both a British and a Zimbabwean citizen. So what happened is Olinda Chapel was arrested for cyberbullying, and she just happened to offer an apology. And we need to look at what really happened and the consequences after the apology. What is going to happen next? Olinda Chapel, who is based in the United Kingdom, is a very popular social media personality. She was arrested and charged with cyberbullying and harassment after a Facebook live video in which she insulted and verbally attacked another woman, Tafirenyika. She appeared at Harare Magistrates Court and she was granted bail. After the court appearance, she then went on to issue a public apology and took full responsibility for her conduct. And also, she acknowledged that the language she used was harmful, disrespectful, and she admitted that she crossed the serious boundaries, including involving another person's child and sharing content without consent. So this is the brief story of Olinda Chapel. And let us look at the arrest of Olinda Chapel. She is not the only one. We have heard about a pastor also from Harare who was recently arrested also and issued a public apology. The biggest question is, what does this mean for Zimbabweans online? If you are involved in cyberbullying, there are several consequences now in the nation of Zimbabwe following the cyber and data law, which is now available in the nation of Zimbabwe. So the authorities in Zimbabwe are taking online harassment very seriously, not just for drama or whatever, but it's a matter which now have consequences like criminal charges and also court appearances, probably conviction and jail. So what they mean is, if you insult, if you threaten, if you humiliate people online, it's interpreted as harassment or cyberbullying. And if there is a complaint, the police will act and they'll make sure that you pay for that. And we are looking at several people who have faced the consequences. We've also seen the police asking or demanding Dr. Nunzwa to appear or to present himself before the police for questioning and further investigations. And let us look on the issue of apology. Does an apology work? It depends. You apologize, the complainant withdraws the case against you, you might go scot-free, or you might evade further prosecution, or even a fine or imprisonment. But what you need to note is Olinda acknowledged her wrongdoing. She took responsibility. She explained her behavior, and she expressed regret. But it doesn't erase the legal process which is already there, unless the plaintiff or the claimant in this matter goes or the complainant goes to withdraw the charges. And also, it doesn't mean that she might be shielded from civil claims like a defamation lawsuit or something else. So this is something which is very, very important to note, that Zimbabwe is taking harassment and cyberbullying very, very seriously. So if you are online, your words matter so much, and your post can damage your reputation. Your words can cause real emotional harm, and also it might be regarded as interfering in other people's private lives. It's not happening. We are now living in a global world where everything is digital, and on a digital platform. Kudara zvaida kuti mumuke wenda pajurawo kana pafenzi mopopotedzana, but right now munogona kupopotedzana paWhatsApp or paFacebook. Wakutomuka iwewe mapurisa achitonoka pagedhi pako, shamari tiri kuda kukamba uye uzopindura nyaya dzako dzecyberbullying. And also in the past maigona kuti mukatukana paizoda witness, but right now the witness is just the phone yawashandisa iwewe to commit such a crime. So there is need to exercise a lot of caution. Also, there is an issue of freedom of expression or freedom of speech versus harassment. And what we need to understand is there is no distinction between expressing your opinion, which is protected to some degree, and the issue of harassment, which includes abusive, threatening, and also bringing false statements. So you can actually see that it's a very, very difficult situation so far. But I hope and believe that with the precedents, if some of the people gets to court and gets acquitted, you will see that becoming a legal precedent, and it will help a lot of people. But it depends on who will be brought to court on these charges. So zvakanaka kuti kumbotorwa wani ndimbari ZANU-PF romboendwa naro court, so that parinonoakwitwa it becomes a legal precedent. So this is an advice kuvanhu vari on social media anozva ati ndinawa ndamboti ndatuka, but if you have the potential yekuti unogona kutora umwe munhu anotukatukawo vamwe ukatukwa, take that person to court wekuZANU-PF, then it will be a legal precedent kana akange aakwitwa. So that is the only way vanhu yavanogona kupota vachi-evada this one, because if there is a legal precedent or a judicial precedent, what you do is, if you are convicted, you take that precedent, you go to court. If the circumstances are similar to the High Court, you appeal, and then you might find yourself a free man using that. But also the High Court might say, okay, and this was also an error. So what you need to do is, we need to think before we post, especially anything which involves another person. We must avoid personal attacks, threats, and also the language which humiliate others. And also, we must respect other people's privacy, especially the issue of children. And also, we must be aware of online conduct, because we now have legal consequences. It's no longer an issue of likes, reposts, whatsoever. There are consequences to follow. So this is what we have, Team Zimbabwe. We will continue to cover these stories and these issues. And also, what we are going to do is, we are going to deal with this whole issue regarding the cyber law once again, for the people of Zimbabwe to really understand what is really happening. What are the consequences and what are the ramifications? And also remember, there is also a provision in the Constitution which says you have your freedom of expression. What is freedom of expression? And we will be looking at freedom of expression versus cyberbullying or harassment. And then we will look at how this law can be abused and also can be of benefit to the ordinary citizens of the Republic of Zimbabwe. I love you all, and thank you very much for coming. Let us meet in other episodes as well as other broadcasts.